Hello, May Flaum here for Jesse James Beads. Today we've got a very simple single strand beaded necklace featuring the new Dark Academia mix. To get started on our quick 5-minute video here tutorial, I am taking one end of beading wire and putting it through a crimp tube. I am using a medium weight beading wire here from Softflex, but you could use really whatever you would like as long as it's appropriate to the manufacturer recommendations for beading. You will find all kinds of information on those, but really any of the beading wires we've got at Jesse James Beads will work. And I'm just putting into the pliers and then properly closing it onto my clasp. Once it is closed, I'm just trimming off one end. And I've got about 18 inches, 20 inches of the beading wire here. I'm going to be using the Thunder Polish beads. I'm just sliding some off here. I'm going to just be stringing beads. That's all we're doing. The only real technique here is one end and then the other. We've got our clasp to attach with our wire, and I left that part in there right there where you saw me trim the end. If the very end of your wire for any reason is kind of frayed, you'll want to just give it a fresh trim. It makes putting the beads on easier. Now I'm using these little tiny Thunder Polish beads. This is just going to give me a really nice sparkly beaded necklace. Very simple. And then what I am going to do is at 3 different points at the center, but then also 2 different offset points on the sides, I'm just going to put a couple of beads from the Dark Academia mix from Jesse James Beads. I'm just going to put a couple of them on here. And then if I have any other beads sitting around that I feel like go as well, I'll add those in. The thing I really like about the Dark Academia mix is it goes really well with all of my smaller beads. So if I have some little beads, if I have some funky leftovers, I can mix and match them into here because this mix is so neutral. There's so much neutrals in this mix and there's so much metals, so it really works well in that way. And as you can see, I'm just going down the line. I am just putting some of these beautiful beads from this mix. There are so many to choose from, and I am such a fan of all of them, honestly. And if I don't like the way something looks, if I put a couple of beads on and then I go, oh, you know what, that's too big or that's not quite right. This is the thing I love about a simple beaded necklace. I can slide them off this wire. There's no harm been done, and I can redo. Now, yes, it takes a little bit of time, but it lets me perfectly visualize and ensure I'm getting the necklace or bracelet or whatever I am making that I want. So I'm able to get in there and really create something that I'm happy with. And you can see I'm just kind of checking out, do I like this as the centerpiece, as the main, like the bottom point? And I do. So here we go. Keep on going, adding more of those Thunder Polish beads. And then, of course, back into our Dark Academia mix and finding more beads that we'd like to go along and just kind of add a little accent. So I'm not using any of the really big beads just because the beaded strand here with the Thunder Polish is so tiny. I just don't want anything that's enormous. And that's just personal preference. I just want this to be kind of a subtle necklace. I'm making it for a teenager who likes my beaded necklaces, but at the same time doesn't like things to be, oh, I don't know, too over the top or too much, just kind of a little more subtle. So this is letting me use some of that sparkle and shine and use some of those beautiful focal beads, but also keep it toned down a little, but also keep it simple by just doing a single strand of beads in the way that I am. Now, this would be a great project if you have kids, older kids, teenagers that want to get into beading but don't know how. This is a great one to start with. Here I am at the other end where I'm just putting the wire back through that tube. The second end is a little harder only because you're going to want to take a little bit of time here and adjust. You're going to want to make sure of 2 things. Number 1, that you have enough of a loop there for your clasp to really freely be it needs to be able to be turning around. It needs to be able to have a little bit of movement to get in and out of the clasp. But at the same time, you don't want so much freedom, and you want to make sure that the beads are snug enough that you don't have a lot of beads flopping all around in a way that you don't like. And once you've got that set, if you wanted to, you could put a cover bead on the crimp tube. That's optional. Otherwise, you are done. As I mentioned before, this is a great project to share with new beaders or with teen or older child creators who might want to be making, because once you get them, if you help them out with starting and ending the clasp, they can enjoy all of the stringing bead fun, and it's a great project to do with friends. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please be sure to subscribe for more videos, and of course, let us know what you love. What are you creating? Be sure to share. We'll see you next time.